Well, I was going to say it also dumbs you down. It also blunts your ability to think critically,
Right.
which
Right.
actually plays in. So there is a difference between the paper gold market. I don't mean to interrupt you, but this is a point that most people just and it isn't directed at you, but they refer to the spot market as gold, and that is a trading market where you can create as much gold that does not or ever will exist. Physical gold market is very different, and so are the prices. That's true supply and demand.
Hello and welcome to Crypto Street, where we bring you the latest and most intriguing stories. Now let's begin our enlightening discussion with Andy Schekman.
Since the 70s, everything has been turned into a financial product. And that actually started long before, but once the central banks were in control, well, what do central banks know? They know debt and they know interest. What the central banks are saying about the CBDCs, the way they're going to introduce it is that if you let us do CBDCs, then there will be no inflation. It's not the end game. It's part of the current game. We're looking at Exeter's pyramid, right? And the foundation is commodity money, gold and silver. If the global central banks have been raising the interest rates consistently on all of the money, but you say that higher interest rates actually cause the inflation, and what do people say? Well, you can't eat gold, you can't eat silver. What the central banks globally are doing in a really coordinated manner, and then what you and I are doing, and lots of people out there that are watching, which is accumulating real money. When is this going to happen? Because I don't know. I think people think they can go out the night before and get prepared for this. Before 2020, let us say, there was a rise of the public, right? Populism. And then, of course, it was quashed, but now it's rising up again. I mean, you live in Israel, so you know what's going on there, in France, in South America, I mean, all over the world, in the U.S. I mean, we're certainly not immune. When you're looking at this, part of what I look at are the patterns and the cycles. And the assumption is that they want to keep kicking the can down the road. But I'm not so sure about that, because we're at the end of this current experiment. So they need to transition us into their next experiment, and they have to get us to comply and go along with it voluntarily. That's the way they do it. What's the difference between a CBDC and a digital dollar, which is what they've gotten us used to over all these years, so that they get us to just accept that? A lot of people think that the BRICS, this meeting that's coming up, that they're going to back a BRICS currency with gold. A lot of people think that they're going to magically just create this new currency and automatically back it by gold. I am on board with you. Even the BRICS banks said that it's about having the ability to trade with their own currency in the member's country. So it really is more about trade. But I had to ask you, because a lot of people make this assumption and they think that it's just so easy. And I don't know, that's the part of the world that has been accumulating a lot of gold. See, I think they're doing it so that they retain control and they can retain choice and they retain power against everybody else, which is the same reason why an individual should be accumulating gold and silver. And Turkey is so interesting because they really went against the rest of the world and were lowering interest rates to fight inflation, as all the other central banks were presumably raising interest rates to fight inflation. And you have such an interesting take on all of this, rates as far as it relates to inflation.
Don't forget to join us as we explore the unfolding events. Let's take a look at the latest news in the economy. 1. BRICS embrace India's digital leadership. BRICS members are considering adopting India's Unified Payments Interface (UPI) system, as suggested by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India's strong position in digital transactions and the success of UPI present an opportunity for other member states to enhance their local payment systems. 2. India's economic growth and aspirations. India, led by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, expresses confidence in becoming a $5 trillion economy and a global growth engine. Emphasizing its resilience in the face of challenges, India aims to achieve developed nation status by 2047, focusing on business-friendly reforms and significant infrastructure investments. 3. Unity and currency for BRICS. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva of Brazil underscores that BRICS seeks to organize, not rival, other economic groups. He endorses the creation of a trade and investment currency among BRICS members, aiming to increase payment options and reduce vulnerabilities. 4. BRICS pursuit of de-dollarization. Russian President Vladimir Putin asserts an ongoing process of de-dollarization among BRICS countries. The bloc emphasizes diversification of supply chains, de-dollarization, and the transition to national currencies in mutual transactions, showing the drive for a more multipolar financial system. 5. North Korean Bitcoin liquidation alert. The FBI alerts about North Korean hackers potentially cashing out over $40 million worth of Bitcoin. These hackers were responsible for several high-profile crypto heists. Vigilance is urged to prevent illicit transactions involving specific Bitcoin addresses linked to these hackers. 6. NDB's vision for a multipolar financial system. The new development bank, NDB, of BRICS seeks to increase lending in local currencies, aiming to reduce dependency on the US dollar. NDB Chair Dilma Rousseff emphasizes the shift towards a multipolar financial system and emphasizes the bank's commitment to respect the policies of each member country.
Community is arguably the most important thing that happens, because one person can't do it all by themselves. You might think Martha Stewart does it all by herself. Some people think I do it all by myself. I can sit here and tell you, if I did not have this incredibly wonderful community around me, which you can meet all of them in the Thrivers community. If I didn't have them all around me helping me, I guarantee you I would not be this ready, because everybody brings a different skill set, including me. We all have gifts. Our job on this planet is to share those gifts that we have been given. So that's what community is about. I'm glad to hear about that, about Singapore. And, is there some place near you where there's community gardens? I've got a treat for you. Actually, you're probably going to meet her before you even get to see this. So never mind. But it's all about community. And finally, shelter, because you've got to have a place over your head. And it's getting even harder to afford a starter home in the U.S., because first-time buyers need at least $64,500 a year, which is above the average income, to afford the average entry-level house, according to a new report. Starter homes are disappearing from the housing market, which, what does that do? Then it pushes up the price of those affordable properties. This becomes a huge issue. But again, first-time buyers need to earn at least $64,500 to afford it, but I hope you don't have any student loans or other debt, because that could kick you out of the running.
That wraps up today's crypto news highlights. Stay tuned for more updates, insights, and analysis from the world of cryptocurrencies. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content.